Yes, hello guys. Good evening. I want to hope that you're good and you are doing good. Personally, I'm great and I'm so happy. Thank you so much for your continued support and how you've been there always supporting by watching these videos. And please, if it's your first time and you're coming across this video, ensure that you subscribe. Yes, because that is the only way we can move on together. Thank you so much. Now, today I'm coming a bit into politics. I want us to look at some few things that happened during, all before, and after the election that was on August 8th. In those times, you can see that there were different uh, rallies here and there from both sides, the Kenya Kwanza and the Azimio. And of course, we know very well the then president, who is Uhuru Kenyatta, was in support of Azimio. And now, there's one thing that Musalia Mudavadi said, and when I looked at it, I saw like it was bringing some sense. Though I'm looking at it like that in my own perspective. I'm not saying that how it was, but in my own perspective, and from the look of what Mudavadi said, actually, it might be true. I want you to listen to this, what Mudavadi said at that time, and then you'll be able to get something from there. Far.
Uhuru mchana anashika Raila anamwambia Azimio, anashika Oparanya Azimio, anashika Atwoli Azimio, anashika hao wengine wote Azimio, lakini usiku anarudi Mount Kenya, anaambia Gachagua, we kaa Kenya kwanza, anaambia Muturi, kaa Kenya kwanza, anaambia wale wote kaa Kenya kwanza. Yani Uhuru anastaafu saa hii, akienda akistafu ameweka Mount Kenya yote ndani ya serikali. Na Uhuru anastafu na ameweka Raila, Oparanya, Atwoli na hawa wengine ndani ya opposition.
Sometimes back, I think you can remember the song that was happening when it came to that. It was like, if you support this one side and you fail to support the other side, there were some accusations that, oh, this one did this, or the KRA was used, or I don't know this, there were some cases in court, don't know this and that person did the other thing, and actually that became the trend. But there's one person that used to make me very happy, very proud. The current CS Interior, that is, this man was the senator for the Rakanidi, the Kithure Kindiki. When it was the time for Kithure Kindiki and it was said, or it was arranged, and it was given some accusations, and it was to be removed from a certain seat, and actually there was to vote. But then Kindiki stood with one thing, and actually he stood and said it. And actually, if you've been very keen, actually right now my sister is the person on the seat of the CS Interior. I just listened to what he said before we go on.
As the deep state was celebrating, as the system was celebrating, suddenly, and I say suddenly, there is going to be a war in this country. There is going to be a writing on the wall. Many, Tekel and Parisi. We will not sit here to discuss anything. Mr. Speaker, Parliament of Kenya must face the executive head-on. The Parliament of Kenya must face the judiciary head-on. There is no way we are going to entertain any arm of government to run this institution. We will not allow it. We are not kidding. We are not playing games. Arrest us, kill us, torture us. We will not yield. Mr. Speaker, the kind of anger we have caused in this country, I dread, God forbid, is the kind of anger that made the citizens of Burkina Faso to burn down parliament. And when the president of Burkina Faso, that was 3 years ago, I'm not talking about prehistory. When the president of Burkina Faso heard the parliament is in flames, he fled. His name is Blaise Compaoré. That's how he was voted out of office, by fire. Mr. Speaker, by fire, by force. Bring the senator of Kakamega, bring the senator of Samburu, and bring the senator of Bomet. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House adjourn until when our 3 colleagues will be here. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to belabor the point. I know the trick. Those who are peddling a dangerous formula of dividing revenue in this country are using. They think without these 3, they have 24 senators to pass this ugly formula. We will not allow it. Mr. Speaker, I have before me here a letter which you have received in your office 10 minutes ago from the senator of Kakamega, Cleophas Malala, saying nobody should try to vote in his place. And I'm going to table it. It's received in your office. We cannot come here and trivialize a serious constitutional institution like the Senate. We cannot. And Mr. Speaker, today, history is before you. Today, destiny is staring at you. As the Speaker, who will deliver this Senate from the bondage of malevolent and capricious men. I want to end, Mr. Speaker. You know, there are people, and I'm glad some of our colleagues who were opposed to, who were trying to peddle this formula, toned down, including my student, the senator for Muranga. He has toned down. Mr. Speaker, there are people who have not given up, and they are trivializing this matter. And they think they are very big. We are being treated to things like system and deep state and deep what. Mr. Speaker, history is replete with strong generals and powerful kings and monarchs who have been brought down by the power of the people. And Mr. Speaker, today I want to remind them of a man called Belshazzar, a man who God favored to be king in the book of Daniel. Instead of being grateful that God has honored you among so many millions of citizens to be their leader, he entertained a government that was so divisive, so oppressive. And he did a big party and called all the important men whose fathers and mothers were important people at that time. And the Bible says he made a feast. And he entertained them in that feast, and even went on to commit sacrilege by using the utensils that had been taken from the temple to commit and drink the drink of fornication using the vessels taken from the temple. Mr. Speaker, as they were enjoying, as they were making merry, as the deep state was celebrating, as the system was celebrating, suddenly, and I say suddenly, there is going to be a war in this country. There is going to be a writing on the wall. Mene, Tekel, and Parisi. We will not sit here.
And then, after that, I think we also need to be very keen and very clear on what we do. Whatever side you support, it's better you try and be as much as possible to be neutral. Or if you plan or put your mind that you're going to support this one side, just support it and support it only. You see, as everything was going on, there were those people who were on Azimio side and those who were on Kenya Kwanza side. And actually, in that thing, always you know very well that Ruto's side was the Kenya Kwanza, and actually he has been in the forefront, and it is like the one who is the leader of that party or that coalition. And therefore, what happened is that those who signed it on his side were put aside. Accusations were made for him. There were those who were almost impeached. So many things happened in that time. But then, it also happened to Ruto himself. Let me be clear on this. You remember very well that there were cases, there are those who, the likes of Kina Morave and Tuju, who saying that before August 9th, that man Ruto will not be on the ballot. Yes, because there are so many things that they were trying, the tricks here and there, to see if they were going to work and impeach him or just remove him from the deputy president seat. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So, always, if you were keen on his campaigns, you will see that he was always on the opposition, despite being the deputy president or being the deputy president or the sitting government. So many times he found himself being on the opposition, despite being in the government, but he was always on the opposition because the things that the current government was doing, the DP felt that those things were against what he felt, and in his own way, he didn't take it very light. And so, in his recent law or unrest, when he was addressing the, I think he was addressing the, I think it was the what, the the MPs, I think. You hear him saying that he was in the government, but then on the opposition, but the ones on the opposition now were in the sitting government. I think that is what he meant by saying that he had been in the opposition despite him being on in the current or the sitting government, but he found himself always in most time in the opposition because his views or his ideology and those of his friends did not lie. So he found himself being on the opposition. Just listen to what he said.
And this only happens, by the way, in Kenya. The sitting deputy president became the candidate of the opposition. And the leader of the opposition became the candidate of government. And as things would be, the opposition candidate won the election and became president. And the president became the leader of the opposition party. That's the beauty of our democracy. And it only happens in Kenya.
Guys, I want to thank you and say great people. Thank you for your support and thank you for always being there, so supportive and watching into my videos. Make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit on that notification bell so that when I upload a new video, you will be the first person to be notified. For now, it's a bye-bye until we meet in the next video.